Shalom, shalom, Israel, brother Amos with the Watchman for Israel. First and foremost, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, to the brothers pushing this truth with strong sincerity, laboring on the highways and byways, making their body a living sacrifice, doing all they can for the nation of Israel and the hopeful elect. I want to give y'all a strong shalom, continue to endure, continue to labor, continue to do all things to magnify the name of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. To the women holding it down in the households, reverencing their husbands, taking care of the children, being a teacher of good things. To the younger women, I want to give y'all a strong shalom as well. Um, and to the young men and women coming out of the world, forsaking the ways of the world, and coming back to serving our God in truth and sincerity, I want to compel y'all to search the scriptures daily to see if the words that were spoken to you are true or not. Right? So I'm going to go into Exodus chapter 19. We're going to talk about the sightings, the things that the Israelites saw on the mount, and then we're going to try to put, what's the word I want to put? Artist rendition on how people perceived it to look, right? We're going to look at some of the images that maybe Edomites, Israel, and other nations might have drew to give all those who read Exodus 19 the account of how glorious it was to see that account on Mount Sinai, right? So in the third month, when the Exodus 19:1, in the third month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day they came into the wilderness of Sinai. For they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai, had pitched in the wilderness, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped about the mount, right? So you got to imagine all the nation of Israel camped around the mount of Sinai, how beautiful it was, right? Our people setting up tents. You had the Levites within the middle of it, right? It was probably a glorious and beautiful thing to see, right? And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mount, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, You have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings and brought you into myself. Right? So we gotta go through the 10 plagues, right? All the glorious works of the Lord, how beautiful it was, how he destroyed our enemies before their face, and gave Israel a name of renown amongst all the nations, and the Most High magnified his name. Right? Flies, frogs, water to blood, hail mingled with fire, darkness, locusts, right? All these things the Lord did, right? Death for the firstborn, right? Death for the cattle and the livestock and the lice, right? All these things the Lord did to magnify his name and to give Israel a name of renown. Those are the glorious works that the Lord did for the children of Israel. Now, therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be my peculiar treasure. Then ye shall be my peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Right? So the Lord is saying, right, if you keep these covenants, you saw the works that I've done, I'm gonna make sure that you Israelites are living good. You Israelites, you are peculiar people, you're gonna be above all nations. Right? You shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all the words which the Lord commanded them. And all the people answered together and said, All that the Lord has spoken we will do. Right? You better do what the Lord has spoken when he tells you what to do. Once you saw all them glorious works and how you were kept, and the Egyptians called all hell and matter. You can read about that in Wisdom of Solomon. Verse 9. And the Lord said unto Moses, Lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, and the people may hear when I speak with thee and believe thee forever. Right? So the Lord came in a huge chariot, right, to speak unto the children of Israel, to speak unto Moses. Right? These things wasn't new to the children of Israel. Right? A chariot led them wheresoever they went. Right? But the Lord came in a huge chariot. right? And that's another breakdown for another day, Lord willing. I can get into it, right? I'm gonna jump down. I'm gonna jump down, right? Dang, I really want to read it. Let's read it. Let's read it. Ain't no point in not reading. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said to Moses, go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow. Let them wash their clothes and be ready against the third day. For the third day, the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Zion, right? Sinai, Salaki. And there thou shalt set the bonds unto the people round about, saying, take heed to yourselves, that ye go not up into the mount, or touch the borders of it. Whosoever touches the mount shall be surely put to death. There shall not a hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through. Whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet sounded long, it shall come into the mount. Right? So the Lord gave strict commandments. You touch this, you're gonna die. Right? Ain't no ifs, ands, buts, in betweens. None of that. The Lord said, when I come to the mount, it's gonna be glorious, and if anybody touch that mount, they shall surely be put to death, beast or man. Right? And Moses went down from the mount unto the people and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. He said unto the people, be ready against the third day. Come not as your wives, right? So don't come as weary women, right? Come as men to see this. And it came to pass on the third day in the morning that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. Right? So the Lord came down, and it was thunderings and lightnings and a loud trumpet. Right? A trumpet signifies warning to the people, right? Let's get artist rendition of how it would look, right? We know the Lord wasn't sitting up there like that, right? All the Israelites, they wasn't so-called white people, right? This is more how I perceived it to be, but it was probably a lot more gruesome and terrifying to see. There we go, right? There we go. Thundering and lightnings and smoke, right? Fire, right? These things was probably horrific to look upon. It wasn't no white people looking like this with their hand reached out, all calm. Hell no, man. People tremble. You know how it is. You get so scared that you shake. This is probably how it looked, right? With brown skinned people, it looks something like this. Terrifying, right? Verse 17. And Moses brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with God. And they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on a smoke, because the Lord descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. Right? And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long, it waxed louder and louder. Moses spake, and God answered him by voice. And the Lord came down upon Mount Sinai, the top of the mountain. The Lord called Moses up to the top of the mount, and Moses went up. Right? You gotta, when you read these things, you don't read it like a novel. You read it in the spirit. Imagine you hear a loud trumpet, you hear thunder and lightning, smoke, fire, right? You seeing beams of lightning shoot everywhere, right? You see something like this. This is what it probably looked like, right? This is what it probably looked like. I'm gonna save this image. That's gonna be the thumbnail, right? That's what it probably looked like. All the rumblings and the fierceness of the Lord coming down, and the people trembled, right? So the the God of Israel is not a God to play with. The God of Israel makes a grand entrance. He's gonna magnify his name in all that he does, right? We're not dealing with the so-called white man. Got this guy coming down. Like, I don't know what that is, right? This guy, the God of Israel, is a fierce God who puts fear in the people. And he should put fear in you when you read these scriptures. So next time you read Exodus 19, read it in the spirit, right? Envision all the works of the Lord, right? Try to imagine the smell of all the smoke, right? How loud the trumpet was, right? What did it say? The smoke ascended up like a furnace. Imagine smoke flying off a mountain, right? Mountains aren't small, mountains are huge, right? Imagine all the Israelites about. It was hundreds of thousands of our people standing there witnessing this. Imagine how huge the camp was. How many people saw the smoke, the fire, the voice of the Lord speaking unto them. Imagine how scared you would be. Right? Read these things in the spirit. Right? With that, I'm going to say Shalom, Kwam Yasha'Allah, continue to endure.